All right, here we are back for another day. We're just to get a little bit of momentum behind what we're doing here, and I was inspired to do a reading for Cancer. So we'll make it for, the next couple weeks, January into February, for Cancer. Yeah, that's where we're at. That's what we're gonna do. If you're looking for your sign, it's not gonna be up for any current time here on my channel because I just got back. So if you're new here, you're looking for a monthly reading for your sign or another sign other than Cancer so far, I recommend you head over to some other readers. Moonlight, Frankie Tunstall, the good people over at Tarot Illumination. There's lots of places that you could find a great reading that will resonate with you. And yeah, this reading may or may not resonate for you if you've got your sun, moon in Cancer. Special shout out to Moon in Cancer. Thank you for the inspiration. Venus, rising sign. You know how it works. You know the drill, as they say. All right, let's just cut the chitter chatter. Let's cut the cards, and let's get in to see what Tarot has to say for Cancer, month of January, year 2019. Man, the time flies so fast. It feels like it was only like a week that I took a break from reading tarot, but it was over a year. So, all right, let's get these cards cut up and see what's going on for you, Cancer. All right. Energy at the bottom of the deck, we've got the King of Swords, and I can't remember if he showed up when he last showed up in your readings. The King of Swords. For partnerships now, we're looking at air-water situations. You may find yourself dealing with a Gemini who is hot and cold, as they typically are at this particular time. You could be dealing with Aquarius and some issues versus like, do they care, do they not care, that sort of thing. All right, so we're just gonna leave King of Swords. Maybe we'll leave him up here. Yeah, that's how we'll go. King of Swords is also reflective of like very authoritative action. So the person that's appearing in this reading could have some sort of authority behind them. They could be like a peace officer or a police officer, like something like that, or a business leader, somebody that is just like take action, right, and doing it with authority. Okay, let's see what's going on, Cancer. Now we've got the Queen of Cups. So here you are. It shows up best as a querent card, or where are you? Who are you? Right, as a person. You may be finding that you're in an emotional time. You're in a space. You've created a divine space for yourself, but there could be some feelings of loneliness or misplaced not intentions. Misplaced intentions. That's what's wanted us to come through here. Sure, the word was wrong, but it's right. Misplaced intentions going on when I feel this card right now. Make sure that you're a little bit more direct in your thinking, because intention and momentum to getting where you want to be is going to come back onto you this month. It's almost saying like there is a call to action for Cancer in order to make this connection work if we're looking at a divine partnership of air water. Okay, now we got somebody here that might not be being completely forthcoming with all the information that they have. There may be some clandestine goings on with somebody involved in your reading, in your life. This person is like they're kind of like clammed right up. They don't want to talk. They don't want to say too much. But it's funny in more so that you can see their actions telling their story. So whatever's not coming through verbally for you from relationships at this time in regards to communication, you should heighten your awareness towards things like body language, schedules, if you're wanting to kind of know what true intentions are at this time. It's all about intentions and momentum right now, I think, where if we're backing off and we're letting things be, there is a risk of things growing more stagnant at this time versus like trying to cut to the chase or get to the bottom of the issue for the matter, right? It's like two people aren't doing that. They're not getting to the bottom of the issue. They're allowing things to be mysterious or to be the things that are left unsaid. Maybe it's something that both of you acknowledged or aware of without words being communicated at one time, but somebody may have forgotten that. So it's like that inside joke where long time down the road, like that one person forgets about it, and then they don't get it anymore, right? They don't laugh. So this is one of those things. And we've got a justice card up for you. So for some of you, this could have been going on for a long time. This could be somebody that has been affected or that has affected you in the past. This is a karmic bond with the justice card, but it is purposefully placed in your journey and in your life. When we see justice like this, along with these other court cards, the message here is to be true to your own self, to be true to your own actions. It's like if you feel like you're acting out of character or out of sync with your particular nature when dealing with a particular person or a situation, it's all like source of the universe is asking you to move away or to transition yourself out of that, to see things how they truly are without your influence, and then you would be able to adjust your influences as needed. Whereas if we're too closely involved with something or somebody, we might not be seeing the bigger picture, and we might be missing something. We have to make sure we have all our facts there, right? And that we come prepared with the facts of what we know and what we're feeling at this time, Cancer. If anything's buried but is relevant to your current situation, it may be time for you to go through the motions of dusting that off and bringing that to the surface, because it will help you in the long run. Okay? We've got this card here again. This is for somebody here that is feeling a little bit uprooted at the time. Maybe like a move has been recent or is expected in the very near future, and it's affecting you. It might be getting you to question the larger chapter of your life. It's not easy to pull up your things or your family and say, okay, we got to head across country or to the other side of town to make things a little bit better. And for all points being relevant, it is important for you at this time, I think, to remember your free spirit, your freedom to flow. It's like if you're feeling that, oh, this is my fate or this is my destiny at this time, it's like there should be some signs coming for you that you are allowed to go with the flow. You are allowed to change midstream. Like maybe you've been doing one thing for over a decade and it's like, ooh, has other doors closed as a result of this? Or have you gone too far down one road with a person, a job, or a situation where it's like you may be feeling like it just does not make sense for me to turn back or to switch direction at this time. But this card here is saying like there could be like sources beyond your control, forces beyond your control or beyond what you can do anything about that. A simple move, a simple remembering that home is where the heart is, and not the other way around, is going to be helpful for you as you may be finding yourself transitioning in terms of residence. Some people may be questioning whether to move in here together or not, whether it's the right time in the relationship to do so, to like kind of get all of the resources together and go in the full partnership. That's another big message with all this major arcana up. It's somebody could be questioning like, what about the life partnership? What about the trust? What about all of these things that go with making yourself a little bit vulnerable and cohabitating, right? Okay. Well, now we've got this card up here. So communication again is definitely being tested at this time. It's almost like mirrored energy. If your partner or people in your situation, your environment are not being forthcoming, maybe you're the one that's has been reflecting this energy or causing this energy to reflect back to you onto this way. You have to give a little in order to get a little, kind of thing. It's if you initiate if you, I can't even say it. If you initiate an action, a good intention, you can watch as people's characters, either they reciprocate and begin to give and take, or perhaps you'll be able to get your final answers on somebody's particular character if they don't reciprocate, as long as you are authentically initiating that which you would like to see from the other. Sometimes it can happen with people subconsciously, and sometimes it's like a light goes on, and consciously they're like, oh my goodness, so and so is actually paying attention, empathically listening to what I'm saying, wanting to be involved. So therefore, you know what, I'm called to do the same unto them. But if not, it'll at least give you some direction in terms of your compass as to how much energy you're willing to put forward. And I think this person will come around. I think there's too many good cards up here to think that this person will not come around. And it's funny, if this person is someone that you're deeply attached to, coming around is a good way, because like when it comes to twin flames or soulmates, I guess they call it, I tend to look at it like this. Like if every soul was a solar system, every person is their own star. Many of us have binary stars that we orbit around, and if you find your binary star here in this lifetime in the matrix of life and earth, then you can kind of recognize that person as your soulmate or your twin flame. You will be naturally drawn to one another, and you will recognize each other deeply and intimately. But again, it also states for the separation that occurs within twin flame situations and soulmate situations that the binary stars are not always super close together. Sometimes they're very far apart. And that's kind of the way it goes with these divine partnerships. As we move through, we are attracted to other people, other things, things that are new, things that are different. But for those of you that are like seeking for the comfort of that twin flame, of that soulmate, it's a good thing to make sure that you are 100%, that you recognize it beyond what you could ever deny it to be true. There should be at no time any thoughts coming in to say, I question if this is my soulmate. I question if this is my twin flame. There would never, if it was, there would never be a question. Okay, there would never be a query. All right. Well, now we move into Six of Swords. So this is good energy. This shows me that for you guys, Cancer, things are going to progress. Your thoughts and understandings regarding the situation or the purpose are, or the person, sorry, are going to progress. And you're going to be just fine. That's what this Six of Swords really tells us. Is it's like if you ever had like those friends that you have a problem, or you just kind of you open it up to them, and then sometimes they give you all the plans, all the ideas, all the reasons why it's not your fault, all the things that you might need to change, all the things that they're going to have your back on. You know, you can waste hours and not feel any better, and then you get this other friend comes along and says, you know what, you're going to be just fine. And like really in that 1 second, it is more reassuring to your entire consciousness and body with those 5 words. You're going to be just fine. And sometimes it's like that's enough to take all the stress away, to take all the worry away if we have shortcomings or things that we don't like about our situation, or if we're trying to get the inspiration to change our environment, or to make a transition that is hard because we're maybe super ingrained in it, or have these super deep roots in our heart that go all the way into what we've become invested in doing. All right. So this card is tough to get a read on. It's a lower pip to capstone the reading, and it's reversed in a 4 of Wands here. So this is like, don't expect it to happen right away. For those of you that are wondering, there could be some delays in this communication, or it may just take you some time to gather the tools you need to write down what it is you want, in terms of bridging a gap or making a transition, whether it is that small move for some of you that are tapped into there, or waiting to see these stiller waters. It's like, it's not going to happen instantly. Through your meditations, you can start to see instant results within you. But whatever we're into here, it seems as though there has to be an opening of doorways, or a flow of communication that needs to reoccur, and then that there's the momentum that we were talking about earlier. I think that's where that comes into play, because we've got to like take action, open the doors, or blow the dam off. But you know what? It's going to be a short time before all that water builds momentum and eventually makes it where we need to be, or we adjust our eyes to the door that's open and it might be a little bit dark on the other side, so where there's an unwillingness to step through it. just because of the unknown. And again, the reciprocity of the other person in this situation is something that's coming into play, where you may be waiting for the sign for that person. Please don't ever wait for that person to make you happy. This card is a reminder that your happiness is coming from within rather than looking to outside things. Outside things can bring us enjoyment, but the true happiness and bliss comes from what we're doing with our inner work and with our inner selves. And then what happens in front of us or manifests in our reality is like the confirmation and the rewards of feeling that happiness for oneself. Okay, I'm just going to get one clarifier for that Four of Wands as a capstone just to build on that. It's funny, we had all these big cards down here at the start of the reading, and then as we looked for direction to round it out, we pulled that small pip. So I'm just going to see what else we have for Cancer for January 2019. Okay, another king here, the King of Wands this time. So yeah, you could be in a situation where it might be tough for you to let go and let others do some planning for somebody. That's a thing. And as well, it's a situation of fairness. Who, in situations where there's partnerships or teams working together, is someone kind of taking all the credit or receiving all those rewards we just talked about, while the other person is just kind of like putting in what seems like endless work? It's time to stop playing games for a couple of people here. It really is. It's time for somebody to come forward and speak as to what we're doing here, actually, with our time and with our space. At the end of the day, you're gonna have to find out where it is you want to be, and if there is waning feelings towards a partner in your life, my suggestion would be to gauge their level of ability to embrace joy. If this person or this situation always seems to end in mundane conversations or boringness or just uninspiring things, I think that's going to be kind of like the litmus test for you to find out if what you're pursuing is still worth it. They might be into you 100%, but into you 100% is really when you could compare it to what you think should be happening or another person in your life. That person's 100% may only be a realistic 60%, and it's like whether they're aware of that or not, or it's just who it is, you'll have to see if that's something where it leads you to question if this is really meant to be, or if you think that, perhaps taking a step back, you open the doorway to a more to a stronger connection, or to the possibility of that person who you feel that divine connection to, where you haven't acted on it because you were involved with something or somebody else at this time. Okay? All right, Cancer, that's what I got for you. You're the only sign I'm reading for, so hopefully you enjoyed it, and we'll see you around real soon.